Good morning, LinkedIn. Welcome to Let's Build Daily. I'm your host, Chris Carolan. Happy Tuesday. Some exciting stuff to talk about today, both from just another feature update perspective in associated record property list cards. Kind of a mouthful, but all of those adjectives are important. Nouns, adverbs, adjectives, whatever. Pretty cool update that I'm excited to show you. But also, if I can just share my screen here, if that's okay with you guys. All right, we're gonna get to this in a second, but kind of a big deal. HubSpot announces HIPAA support and new sensitive data tools. So the sensitive data functionality came out recently, maybe a month ago or so. I don't know. We're moving so fast now. And it had a couple of specific sensitivity types, if you will. And now it has HIPAA as well. So I know a lot of people were anxious to see this. Been waiting for this for a long time. Here you go. What else is holding us back at this point? Not a whole lot anymore. So Kyle's got a cool minute and a half video here. Definitely check it out. I put the link in the comments for this video. So the topic for today, while we prepare for this all data in HubSpot magic 360 review the customer, whether it's sensitive data or not, this update is huge. And so just to show you where we're at, right? We've got this contact record view here, right? We've got the left sidebar with editable properties. We've had the right sidebar for a long time showing us all associated, things in HubSpot. And with the addition of the CRM cards, we've been able to bring properties into the record view and manage them in a much better way. So right now, I could, before this update we're talking about, I could make a collection of important properties for this record type that I'm on, in this case, contacts, and we can edit them right from here. Now, one thing you'll notice as you play with this applies to the associated cards too. So again, while I'm not a huge advocate of locking everything down and really empowering your people through training, understand that as I make these changes, it's auto-saved, right? And this is the only notification I have at this time that it's been saved, and it lasts about, about 3 seconds maybe, right? So know that. And again, so training the team is important, but also permissioning where needed to make sure data, is maintained. That's generally the sacrifice you're making with the more accessibility you have, the more flexibility you have in the system. Maintenance can be a huge burden. So I think about it like, as soon as you put a form up on your website because you want people to be able to contact you easier, all of the spam submissions come in, and it's something you have to manage. Not a lot of ways to stop it. So you accept that sacrifice in maintenance to make yourself more accessible, right? So not exactly the same here, but know that that is something to consider uh, when this person working on the contact record has easier access to edit things in other records. That is something to be considered. Now, for associated records, we've only had really these read only is probably not the right word, but like display views of other record information, right? So, and of course, that allows us to do, quick previews and then edit information from here, which is still pretty good. But what we're going to do now is we'll have the ability to bring these properties right onto the record view. So we won't need this sidebar. And to do that, I'm going to take you from a fresher portal perspective, because it's easy to see this stuff and then be like, oh, I want to do that. And then you start getting into the system and not all the dots are connected where they need to be. So it's a lot harder than it may seem, or it's a lot harder than it should be to get yourself started. So just to show how you might start up. All right, so I'm in the Let's Build portal on CloudStrife contact record. And let's say I want to start doing this. All right, so I'm going to customize the record. And I'm going to customize the middle column for contact records. And we're going to go to default view. And you might be thinking to yourself, if you're following along with HubSpot, especially if you're an admin, you're like, hey, I thought I could now see all the columns in this view. The unified record view, if you will. Well, that is actually a beta. So part of the challenge here is this update of cards. A lot of the cards updates spend no time in beta, or not very long in beta. So you don't have to turn them on necessarily. I think it's inherent to how the cards functionality works, right? But that's why I'll be able to come in here and say, actually, if we create card, right? And association property list is what I want. And I can list up to 24 editable properties for an associated object. So not only is it an associated object, we've also got a new property list, large. So we can do more than 12. I was not aware of that. That is cool. So we can do that, but why don't we have our view, the unified view that we've been seeing? Well, because that is a beta. And to get to that, to get to information on both these things, we go to product updates. And we see store HIPAA data right on top, which is cool. Again, it's a beta, but this is one that you're automatically enrolled in. So again, this product updates, if you're looking for something new, if you heard about something new, having trouble, check out this product updates page to try to create some clarity, or just come into this Sprocketeer Slack community and ask, and your friendly neighborhood Sprocketeer will help guide you in the right direction. So what I'm looking for is unified record view. And of course, this gets challenging if you don't know the exact name, but this is your next step, right? So I have not turned this beta yet. I have not turned this beta on yet. in this portal. So we're going to join that beta. Now, while we give that some time to update, we're going to look at this update as well. So property lists of associated data. What is it? Imagine viewing and editing contact properties from a company record. Of course, why we want to be contact focused. Like, so imagine editing company information from a contact record. The new association property list card will let you choose properties from associated records. Why does it matter? This feature eliminates the need for sync properties. Eliminates, maybe a strong word, but certainly reduces the need for sync properties or workflows to copy data between properties just to see them on other record types. I'll give them that. If it's just to see, if it's just for visibility purposes, this should eliminate the need for sync properties. However, sync properties and other functionality in the system might allow you to, lock the data down. So in the case of sync properties, you can say one-way sync and have it not editable in one place, but editable in the originating place. So just know you have options now, and this is probably why they've capped sync properties at 25. Because certainly if I were them, I would want to see people using this update in action, this new card in action. One, just to see how many sync properties people actually need. But also, we wouldn't want them making 100 sync properties and then having this card available. And now all those workflows that got turned into sync properties, now neither of those things are needed. So I love highlighting stuff like this. Like when you think that the team is doing something that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and then something happens, like, oh, okay, yeah, makes sense now. So, for example, if you're on a contact record, you can add a company property list card, a deal property list, custom object property list card. So let's do that. And just to show you, after the update, we're going to come back and we're going to customize the record. And now it brings me to a different page, the contact settings area, right? And it's got a little info icon here for hints. Your entire record page can now be customized in a single place. Edit the default view of contact records that everyone sees, or create team view for specific teams. Let's edit that view. So now we see all three columns, right? As well as some helpful hints along the way. Yeah, a lot cleaner, a lot easier to work with here. So I'd like some data to work with though. So I'm going to do this from my contact record view here. So I showed you, this engagement information contact card, which is a customized, property list card for contact record. Now I want to put some other info on there. And let's say I want to know about some deliverables that they've gotten. All right. So I'm going to add a card. And I also like, as you create cards now, they store them in a library. which is cool. So association property list is what we want. And we're going to say, let's say contact deliverable property list. And what you'll find is, just like anywhere else in the system, as you iterate on this, naming conventions are going to be important. Associated object type, choose an object type. We are going to choose deliverables. Choose a property. All right, so now we have all of our deliverable information. Ooh, I like consulting call recordings. This is a rich text field where I put links to be seen in a client portal. Let's say deliverable description, deliverable type, maybe end date and start date. All right, maybe this is a project where we're having to make adjustments. And no, this is not like, first of all, it's awesome that we'll be able to see this stuff directly on the record. Second of all, like, maybe we'll want to edit it sometimes, maybe not. But just having it available is going to be awesome, right? So if looks like we've built kind of a consulting engagement here. Association list filters. Any applied filters will affect the list of associations that you can select to view within the card. And here I'm going to look at association labels first. So again, if you haven't checked out association labels, these updates are going to keep forcing you to do so. If you want the cool stuff, if you want the information all in one place, you have to familiarize yourself with those association labels. Like, do it now. I'm going to pick deliverable contact because that's the other one I got. But if I wanted, could go add some associations here, which is cool. Because this is how it usually goes, right? You're like, yeah, I'm going to use this new thing. Oh, I don't have any association labels. Now I got to go to that screen. And of course, this is where the mapping comes into play, folks. Like, if you figure all this stuff out beforehand, or like maybe you try this out one time, proof of concept, and then map, right? This is going to be a nightmare to maintain if you don't manage this. And this is what I was getting to up here. If I have multiple association labels, then this card title and internal name is not going to be specific enough. Quite possibly. We're going to see how this works. But I'm guessing as we look at the record, right, it's going to show us information about the type of association that exists. And we'll look at filter and add a filter. Right. And we'll say, we should see deliverable pipelines that are only consulting calls. So what I'm gathering is if you're starting to use this stuff successfully, and you endeavor to make this system work for you, this is going to be another way that highlights very quickly, in the record. Man, this is good. Um, Inside of the record, you'll be able to see broken things much easier. Like instead of relying on moving to all these other places in HubSpot to catch, missing data. Because if this is filtered on the record and I'm not seeing the deliverable that I should be, I know something is wrong. And now I might be able to fix that, very quickly. Right? It might be showing on let's say the right column, but it's not showing me in the middle. Why is that? It's probably because one of the properties is incorrect, right? So if we sort by here, choose a property to sort your objects by. And we'll do what's this? Oh man, they've brought all of the date entered stuff to custom objects and their pipelines. Very interesting. That is really cool. Anyways, let's say by end date. That sounds like a good sort. Now let's preview the card. You grow at Chris. Yep. We're going to remove that filter for now. Because I don't think I have any consulting calls. Now let's see if that. See, there we go. Okay. So, okay, cool. Save. Save and exit. But first, do I want to save and exit? No, I care about this one. And now it's at the bottom. I need to bring it to the top. Like so. Right. And maybe under contact stage tracker, because we want that one. And then if we just check out settings here, decide if and where users can reorder their cards for this view, we can turn on and off the left and right sidebar. Save and exit. Now we go back. Where does that take us? To the contact record with a contact deliverable property list and all of the possible associated objects with the ability to say, hey, consulting calls, start date was June 3rd, end date, say August 30th, 3-month engagement. Changes have been saved. Now I'm going to do this with one more. And we'll say consulting calls. And let's say this one's going to start next month and end, say, end of the year. It's a second half engagement. Notice I need to work on some naming conventions here. All right. But if we go back to our customized record view, right? So our contacts here. So I just came back. I already have a contacts settings open. So I'm going to keep this view up instead of going to customize record. And I'm going to go to record customization here, default view. Now I'm in I want to filter down to those consulting calls like I was originally planning. So I don't have a big list of stuff to search through. Manage filters, add filter. What was that? Deliverable type. So is any of consulting calls. Close editor. Save. Now, refresh. And we're expecting a change to this dropdown. Now I saw this change, which means I successfully edited 2, and it's showing me the most recent end date first, because that's how we sorted it, right? If we go back here and look at edit, I chose to sort by the end date, and it's not really showing me that, but that's what I had saved. And now I should be, when I click on this, I should only see 2 options because I've only updated 2 of these to say consulting calls. And there's my 2 options, right? Another magnificent example here of the need for naming conventions, especially when you're naming records. Like if I am any customer facing person trying to understand which one we might be talking about, I need more information, more identifying information in the name of this object, of this record, to be able to pick the right one, right? So this is where dates and IDs come into play. But in this case, we have 2 to choose from. I'm going to choose the other one. Watch the information change. Let's say this first one turns into a longer engagement. That's been saved. I'm going to go to the second one. And then back to the first one. And now when I refresh the page, if it sorts based on end date, I think we should expect this to change to the other deliverable. Maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe another refresh. And just to confirm. Okay. So it looks like right now it's defaulting to the last one that I was on. Maybe I need to play with this some more. Either way, I mean, this is amazing. This is awesome. This gets us to the place that we all should want for our customer-facing employees, our customer-facing team. If I have all the information I need to serve a customer here, I don't need to hand off to anybody. I don't need to put people on hold. I can serve them faster, quicker. This goes for emails, calls, maybe live chat, right? The power of creating this 360-degree view cannot be understated at how much waste it solves for in your business. And this is a custom object, right? And I could put 24 properties on here. And this drop down, I wasn't expecting this. I was very curious how that was going to work. So start playing with this, folks. And if you want to go to the direct card itself, it's just an easy click of the settings button, right? And we add another property. Sorry, I can't stop playing with this. All right, maybe let's see here. Maybe there's a ship date that we need on there, and we need everybody to understand when that ship date is. All right, save and exit brings us back into the card, and now we have a ship date that whoever gets notified that the supply chain sucks today and we've got to change this, that person is empowered to change it right here, right? Maybe we see it in an email on this tab, and then we can come back here and update it. Because we have these connections, this is when AI starts to get uber powerful for you. Get your data in the system, get it organized, and watch it work for you. I'm really excited about this. Curious, any feedback out there? Let me know in the comments or DM me if you want help thinking about, how you should set this up. I love talking about use cases like this. This is the future of HubSpot. Like, this is what customer platform means. This data accessibility, and empowering people to manage the data so that it's not always on the admin only, right? I think we try not to get into stakeholders' way because we feel like it's a burden, it's going to be more work for them, so let's not ask them. When they know, it helps themselves, it helps people around them, and it helps the customer get a better experience, they're willing to do the work. Just know that has not been proven to them in most cases. Most of this time, these systems are set up to be a burden and are not set up to work for you, right? This is one step closer to that, making the system work for us and not having to click around everywhere to do it. So play with this. Let me know what kind of cards you come up with. Super excited to see what you guys are up to here. So with these new associated, let me use the right term so you know what to search. Property lists of associated data, the association property list card. Find the opportunity and let's grow. Have a great day, everybody.